All right, everyone, it's good to be back. This is going to be your main math lesson video for the day. I'm going to kind of talk you through it. Again, it's not going to be the same because I'm not there in person, but just go through with me and pay attention as I go through before Miss Askew does a little more practice with you guys in class today. So we're going to start out with our lesson objective. And you guys remember this from all of my previous PowerPoints through the past year. But our lesson objective today is students will be able to. That is the SWABAT. Remember, that stands for students will be able to. So that is you. And this is going to be what you should be able to do by the end of class today. It's a real easy lesson with a review. So I think you guys have got this. So students will be able to add and subtract whole numbers by completing an Orgo module. And the Orgo module you guys will find in your Google Classroom along with some additional practice. So whenever I'm talking about what skill are we working on, I want you to take about the next 10 seconds, pause the video if you need to, but think about what thinking skill we are working on as I go through this. So I'm going to go and give you that time. Very good, and it should be adding and subtracting. So that is what we are going to focus on today. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a review of place value, and I have a big place value chart here. Feel free to copy this down from the video, but this is just showing you all the place values that we're going to cover so far. I'm going to have a start at the ones place, which you can find right here with a 3 as the digit in that place value. Remember, the ones place is always the first place value to the left of your decimal point. We can see our decimal point marked right here. And just remember that the decimal point and commas do not get their own place value. Only digits get their own place value. So we're going to start at the ones and we're going to move to the left. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, then we have a comma, then we're moving to the thousands, the 10,000s, the 100,000s, then after the 100,000s we have the millions, the 10 millions, the 100 millions, the billions, and after billions we have the 10 billions, 100 billions, and finally trillions. So those are all the place values that we need to know so far to the left of the decimal. Their numbers are obviously infinite, so it can go past trillions. There are numbers bigger than trillion out there, but those are all the ones to the left that we need to currently know. And now we're going to focus on the numbers to the right of the decimal. So to the right of the decimal, the first place value will always be the tenths. And remember, that has a THS on the end, the tenths. And following the tenths, we then have the hundredths, and then the thousandths, and finally the 10,000ths. And again, these numbers are also infinite, so they will keep going on and on and on. But please get your place values down. This is a very quick review that I know we've been working on for a long time now, so I want you to make sure that you know your place values. So again, if you need to, feel free to pause the video and get those copied down. And feel free to use the abbreviations. We'll focus more on the spelling later on, but we just need to know the order for now. So let's go ahead and move on to the next. You may know from my class that we do problems of the day. So for today, we're going to focus on a daily word problem, and we are using the Penguin problem solving process, or as you guys know, the PSP. So we are going to use that to solve this simple word problem, and it will be a review. Please just listen as I go through. So it says first that Pedro played 17 hours of Fortnite this weekend. Mia played 5 hours less than Pedro. How many hours did Mia play? Now this is a very easy problem that you can probably do without the PPSP, but I want us focusing on how to solve it with that. So the first part is our data. Remember, datas are numbers and labels. So we know that we have Pedro, and Pedro played 17 hours, and we're going to record all of that. And now we have Mia with 5 hours less than Pedro. Now, how could we solve that? Do we know exactly how many hours Mia played? Does it say Mia played 5 hours total? No, it says 5 hours less than. So, less than is actually a key word that we're going to use to help us solve this problem. Less than means subtract. So, we could go back in our data and put question mark for now. Now, if we know we're subtracting, let's use the information we have. Let's think, what could I subtract in order to figure out how many hours Mia played? Very good. We see the 5. We see 5 hours, and we cannot do a bigger number. We cannot subtract a bigger number from a smaller number. You guys do not yet know how to do 5 minus 17. So instead, let's do 17 minus 5. And remember, we're going to put this in our work section. So data, that's where we have our numbers and labels. Plan is where I should see the operation. And the work is where we're actually solving everything. So we're going to do 17, take away 5. And when we do that, 7 minus 5 is 2. 1 minus nothing is 1. So we should have 12. And we also checked this in our work section. And remember, you checked by using the inverse operation. So I'm going to take my difference, which is 12. I need to use the inverse operation, so I know I'm adding. And I'm going to add what I subtracted, which is 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. 1 plus nothing is 1. We see that when we added it, we got our total. So we know that we did it properly. So the last thing is for our results to put our answer in a complete sentence. So we need the proper noun, and we know we're looking for Mia. So we would say Mia played 12 hours of Fortnite. Very good. And that is a brief overview of the Penguin problem-solving process. So remember, data, plan, work, results. Please get this memorized as soon as you can. Next, we are focusing on our steps for problem solving. And I'm sorry, this should be steps for adding and subtracting. And your steps go as follows. You line them up by their place values. You're going to start on the far right. You're going to solve the operation for the column. And in this case, it's all either going to be addition or subtraction. You're going to regroup if you need to be. Move to the next column. And remember, columns are up and down. And then you're going to check your work. That's all the steps you need to know for adding and subtracting. And again, feel free to go back to this slide. Let's actually get to some problems to solve. So first, we have 114 plus 711. So going to our steps, we need to write it up and down. After we do this, we start on the far right, and we're going to use the operation. We see it's adding, so we need to add. 4 plus 1 is 5. We don't need to regroup anything. 1 plus 1 is 2. And 1 plus 7 is 8. So we see we got a sum of 825. And remember, a sum is a solution to an addition problem. Let's move to the next one. We have 37 plus 852. We start on the far right. 7 plus 2 is 9. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 0 is 8. So we have a sum of 889. And please, if you can, get in the habit of boxing or circling your answers for me. That just makes it easier to find. Now we got a little bit bigger numbers, so we're going to work on this. We need to copy them down. 1,243. I need to make sure I put my comma in the right place, because I know you guys are sticklers for that. And now let's write in the number below it, but we got to make sure it matches the place values. So we notice here the 3 is in the ones place, the 8's in the ones place. So I'm going to copy down the number just like this. I'm sorry the oven's going on in the background. My mom is currently making cookies, but that's a-okay. Make sure I have my last comma in, and now we can add to find our sum. 3 plus 8 is 11, so I need to record my last digit and regroup since it was bigger than 9. So now I have 4 plus 4, which is 8, plus 1, which is 9. I don't need to regroup. 2 plus 1 is 3. Bring down my comma. 6 plus 1 is 7. 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 0 is 3. Put in my comma. 1 plus 0 is 1. So my sum is 1,347,391. Now we did some adding, so we're going to focus on subtracting now. And remember, just to pay attention to the operation. It works in the same way, lining it all up. So I have 115 minus 15. 5 minus 5 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus nothing is 1. So now I have a difference of 100. Remember, when you subtract, the solution is called a difference. Now let's work on the next one. We have 743. Take away 256. I cannot do 6 away from 3, so I need to regroup. So I'm going to cross this out and make it smaller. It's going to go down by 1, but I'm regrouping at 10, so this is going to actually become 13. 13 minus 6 is 7. I cannot do 5 away from 3, so I need to regroup again. The 7 is going down to a 6. I regroup another 10. 13 minus 5 is 8. And 6 minus 2 is 4. So I get a difference of 487. And I would be checking my work normally, but just because the video is getting towards the end, please look back at our word problem for how to check your work. The last one, this is to push you a little bit, and we are doing 58 decimal 43, take away 19 decimal 71. Now, 3 take away 1 is 2. I cannot do 7 away from 4, so I need to go next door, cross it out. It's going to become a 7. I can still regroup across the decimal, so now I have 14. 14 take away 7 is 7. Bring down my decimal. I cannot do 9 away from 7, so I need to go next door, cross out the 5, make it into a 4. 17. 17 take away 9 is 8. 4 take away 1 is 3, so I have a difference of 38 and 72 hundredths. And again, don't forget to check your work. Now, what you guys are actually going to do, you will see 2 assignments in your Google Classroom. 1, you will have time to work on in class with Miss Askew and your other teachers. Please work through that assignment right now. And after that, you will have homework. Your homework is due Friday in Google Classroom. It's just like the stuff we've been doing. So please make sure you are working on that. So again, you have about 10 questions you're doing right now with Miss Askew and your other teachers, and then homework is due Friday. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you later. Do not forget to log in and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Bye-bye.